Okay, we're gonna make Prot-Meal and eggs, which is basically chocolate protein powder and oatmeal with an egg white omelet. This is one of the 2 breakfast options in the program. The other is overnight oats. We'll cover that in a different video, but Prot-Meal and eggs is my favorite. Just like everything else, it's really simple. It only takes a couple minutes to make. There's only a few ingredients, and I'm gonna walk you through each step right now. So I've got everything I need right here. I've got frozen blueberries. I've got a banana. I've got some almond butter. This is unsalted almond butter. You can use peanut butter. You're only gonna use this if you are in one of the 2 higher calorie meal plans. So there are 3 meal plans in the program. The lowest one, when we're trying to reduce calories, you're gonna omit the nut butter. This stuff has a lot of fat in it and a lot of calories. So when you're trying to cut, for example, and you need to cut some calories from your diet, getting rid of the nut butter is a good way to do that. But in the other 2, the higher calorie ones, you can add that in. It makes it taste better. You're gonna use liquid egg whites. You can get a big case of this stuff from Costco. Protein powder. This is chocolate peanut butter Dimetized ISO 100. This is my favorite protein powder, but you can really use any chocolate whey protein that you want. Sugar-free maple syrup. I know that sounds kind of gross to put maple syrup on egg whites, but trust me, it's really, really good. And this stuff only has about 10-15 calories in it. Oats, any type of whole rolled oat is fine. You can get a big box of the stuff from Costco or Trader Joe's, wherever you shop. The stuff's easy to find. And then of course you need a little bit of salt. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start the oatmeal. That stuff takes the longest to cook, so we're gonna do that first. So I'm gonna measure out about 1.5 cups of water. And just put that in a pot, and I'm gonna get that going. So that goes on high heat. I want that water to start boiling. And then while I'm doing that, I can get ready for everything else. So the water's boiling, and I like to throw down some paper towels just to make the cleanup pretty easy. On the other side of the oven, of the stove, I've got a small frying pan. This is for the egg whites and a little lid there. So I'm gonna need 2 spatulas, easy. And I'm gonna measure out, I've got my food scale right here. So I'm gonna measure out the oats, and I need 100 grams of oats. So just throw that on there. And I've got about right there, about 100 grams. Okay, so that is ready to go into the bowl once the water starts boiling. And from there, I don't think I need the food scale anymore. I've got my egg whites ready to go. So you're gonna pour about half of this container into the pan. So each little carton of egg whites should get you 2 servings or 2 omelets. So again, water's boiling, just kind of waiting for that to get going. The eggs cook pretty quickly, so I wanna wait till I put the oats in to start cooking the eggs. So I'll probably fast forward this video a little bit to save some time. Okay, so I've got 1.5 cups of water boiling on the stove, and I've got 100 grams of oats ready to go. So as soon as the water starts to boil, I'm gonna put the oats in, and then I'm gonna just mix them up a little bit in the water, and then I'm gonna turn the heat all the way down to low because I just want them to simmer for a little bit. If you leave the heat on high, it'll start to foam up and you'll see it kind of flow out of the pan. So heat goes on low right away, and as soon as I put the oats in, I'm gonna turn the heat on for the small frying pan for the egg. So that goes on high heat as well, and I'm just gonna wait for that to heat up. I'm gonna throw on a little spray cooking oil. I use coconut oil, you can use whatever you want. Sometimes the little nozzle gets clogged, so I just hold it over the stove for a couple minutes to melt whatever oil is blocking the nozzle. And then give that a little spray. Every so often, I'm just gonna mix up the oats just to keep them cooking and to make sure they don't get too foamy and foam over. And now I can get ready with the bowl that I'm gonna put the oats in when I'm done. So what goes in here is a scoop of chocolate protein powder. So I'm gonna put 1 scoop of whey into the bowl. And just checking on those oats. Done with that. And then I'm gonna put 100 grams of frozen blueberries. So that goes back on the food scale. And I'm just gonna weigh out 100 grams frozen blueberries. Perfect. And we can put those back in the freezer. Okay, the frozen blueberries are good because when both of these dishes come off the stove, they're pretty hot, and the blueberries cool the oatmeal down pretty quickly. So you can eat that first, and then you can get to the eggs later. The pan's going good over here, so I'm gonna dump the eggs into the small frying pan. So they go in. And again, you're gonna use about half the container. And then we're just gonna hit it with a little salt, just to give it a little flavor. So I usually do about 5 grains of salt, and then the lid goes onto the pan so the eggs cook quicker. Also into this bowl for the oats, I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of unsalted almond butter. So that goes in, and some good fat. Done with that. Go back in the fridge. So I've got protein powder, I've got frozen blueberries, and I've got a little bit of almond butter in the bowl ready to go. Give the oats another little stir. And again, that's cooking on low heat. And then I've got a banana here. This is gonna go on top of the oats when we're done. Okay, so after a couple minutes, you're gonna wanna take the cover off the eggs. You'll see bubbles start to form. So the lid comes off, and then you're just gonna push the sides in just a little bit and let some of the uncooked liquid eggs kind of roll around to the side so they cook. So I'm gonna do that once, and just kind of spread it around, pull the sides in, and then the lid goes back on, and the heat goes off, okay? Because it'll finish cooking just like that. And to be perfectly honest, you can actually drink liquid egg whites. They've been ultra pasteurized, so you don't have to worry about getting sick from undercooked egg whites. Some guys drink them, but they're kind of gross. So same time, oatmeal is pretty much done over here, so the heat's gonna go off, and just give it one final stir, and then that's going straight into the bowl over here. Okay. There. Excuse me. Grab a spoon. And so now I'm just gonna go ahead and mix up the protein, the almond butter, and the frozen blueberries. You just gotta mix it all around. Okay. So there's a big bowl of mush. Okay, and then same time, the eggs are done. So I'm just gonna loosen them up a little bit, and then they go onto a plate and just kind of fold it in half. Make a nice little omelet there. Okay, so now we got a little egg white omelet, and I'm gonna throw some sugar-free maple syrup. The serving size here is about 2 tablespoons. I just eyeball it. It doesn't really have a lot of calories, and it's really good, so I probably use more than 2 tablespoons. But if you're paying attention to your calories, you know, you might want to use a little less. So I'm just gonna cover it with some sugar-free maple syrup. And then last piece is I'm gonna cut up a banana. Just slice it on top of the Prot-Meal and eggs. Okay, so that's it. I've got my oatmeal with almond butter, blueberries, and banana. And I've got my egg white omelet with sugar-free maple syrup and a little bit of salt. This is my favorite breakfast option of the two. Overnight oats is great because you can just grab it. You can make it the night before and grab it and run out the door. But if I have 10 minutes, this is what I'm gonna make. And I've been eating this for a really long time. I know the idea of maple syrup on egg white sounds kind of gross, but it's almost like eating pancakes. And I guarantee you're gonna like it. So give it a shot, and thanks for watching.